So there's 5 basic types of assignments. There's 4 that are under the assignments list here, and there's also a Turnitin assignment. A Turnitin assignment is our plagiarism detector. I'll be talking about that in a minute, but the basic assignments are listed here. Advanced uploading of files is if you have an assignment where a student needs to submit multiple files to you, whether that's a PowerPoint and a paper, or whether that's a paper plus the PDF of their article, or what have you. That's what the advanced uploading of files is. Online text is if you just want them to type in a text box. Some professors like that, so that's an option for you. You can have them upload a single file, so just one paper, one upload. That's the way you're going to use it. Most people, we find, use this feature. There's also an offline activity. So if you want to have class discussion points that's showing in the grade book, you can have an offline activity where you grade their discussion, their in-class discussion. Or if they do a presentation, or if you have participation. You can do all of that through what's an offline assignment. There's nothing the student submits, but you can grade it within the grade book. So all of these things that we're going to be adding in here are items that are graded within the grade book. Okay? So let's start just with a simple uploading of a single file. So again, we have our red asterisks here. I'm going to call this test assignment. So I remembered to delete it. And then a description. The description in particular is very important here. When a student clicks on the assignment, they're going to see this description. This is where you should put the instructions of what you expect the student to do, to submit. You know, copy and paste from your Word file is a really good thing. You can't attach files to assignments, which is why I had them indented under my assignments on my main screen there. But you can copy and paste all of that information from Word and format it nicely so that it all appears here. So I'm just going to put in my text here. I'm not going to display it on the course page, but I'll show you where it displays within the assignment. When you get into assignments and other interactive things, the available and due dates become very important. You can have it available from whenever you'd like. If you want them to all see it at the beginning of the semester, great. If you don't want them to see it until week 3 or week 4, that's fine too. The due date is very important because that is the date after which students will get penalized for submitting it late, or if you decide not be able to submit that assignment at all. So the date is important, as is the time. So Moodle works on a 24-hour clock. So if you would like it to be at, a minute before midnight on Friday, you can say, okay, let's make this Friday the 17th, and it's due at 5 minutes before midnight, 23:55. Or you can say, all right, I'm going to be nice and say it's due on the 18th at 00:00. So that they have to submit it before midnight. So you kind of have to think differently about the dates. It's not the due date, it assumes that you're going to put a time in there, because there are some time-based assignments for online classes.
And don't use 12 o'clock as midnight because that's noon.
Right. 12 o'clock is noon.
12 o'clock on here is noon.
Yep, it's a military clock. The prevent late submissions is also something you should consider. The default is no. That means a student can still submit an assignment, but Moodle will tell you how late it was submitted. If you want it to be, if it was 2 minutes late and you want to be nice, then that's your choice. If it was 3 days late, then you will know that. But you can also prevent them from submitting an assignment late. Your choice. We don't have a recommendation. Everybody does it a little differently. The grade is also important. This is where you're going to say how many points, or if it's a percentile, leave it at 100. So we have our choice of going either up to 100 or to use the 0 to 500 scale. Some people have, 400-point assignments. If that's how you do it, it's all good. You just click on 0 to 500 and you'll have the opportunity to enter in a number. But if you're using the weighted, for example, we'll just leave this as 100 and then go from there. I'm going to show you how to grade within a rubric in a minute, right within Moodle, but I'd like to show some basic features first, so I'm going to skip that option. The grade category, here's where the organization of Moodle kind of comes in to help. Since we already set up categories, now I can say, oh, this is an assignment, and click on that, and it's automatically within that category. It's really useful so you don't have to over and over again recategorize everything that you've got. So this is where that grade category from your gradebook filters right into your assignments, and you can just choose it from here. Again, this is where these little features in assignments kind of have some impact on your students. So when you first are doing this, you may want to review all of these. You can allow a student to submit multiple revisions. Let's say they uploaded the wrong file. If you have this set to no, they can't resubmit. One go and that's it. You want to leave this email alert to teachers set to no. You don't want to know every time somebody submits an assignment. Trust me. The emails get really, really annoying really fast. The maximum size is something you should be aware of. Because we are hosted by an external service, we have some file limits. If you have your students doing PowerPoints, you may want to coach them to make them smaller as opposed to very large and image intense, or have them use PDF files instead of PowerPoint when they're submitting their presentation. There is a file size of 2 meg. I've seen some PowerPoints get upwards of 8, so just caution your students about that. And there's also this restricting access. I kind of find that using the availability dates is a far better idea than restricting access. You can always use the eyeball to hide something if you don't want it to appear anymore. I've heard more people have problems with this restrictions area, so I'm going to recommend that you just leave that as it is. For the rest of this, we can just save and return to course. Yes? Okay, so here's where your description becomes important. If I was a student, this is what I see. So if you have this assignment and no information whatsoever on what the student's supposed to do, they're going to have to go back to the syllabus, they're going to have to go back and forth, and there might be some confusion. So that's why we recommend you paste your assignment instructions, or at least an abbreviated version thereof, right here into the assignment itself, because this text, that's exactly what I typed into that area. Again, all of that formatting, bolding, italicized, that all works here, so you could paste in whatever pretty text you wanted and edit it and make it look good, and then it'll show there. It also shows the student these available and due dates, and lets them then click on the upload a file. They'd upload their file, and then it would be submitted. So this is exactly what a student would see at that point.